All right, so this video today is very important. How women get the leverage and the power in the relationships and why they do it. I'm going to be showing you step by step everything. Now, this is so wild. Inside of our community, some of the guys are even calling it a movement. I've been showing all these guys the language of women. One of the guys, I'll keep his name private, he goes, 3 days and so many changes. He goes, I've been a member for 3 days now and I can already tell the changes are happening. The language of women program really explains it all. My view of myself, the self-reflection on past actions and reactions with women were definitely not the masculine way. And the best part is I knew I was doing it wrong all this time and would even get angry with myself inside because I didn't understand how to respond and didn't have the tools to change my ways. If you shift your eyes down below, he says, I'm so grateful for this program. It's teaching me so much and is really giving me an extra boost in my life. Guys, this is why I made this whole community. We have now brought over 1,100 guys together. Do you understand how this is growing? Every single day, I'm watching new posts in here, and I'm watching so many guys get results in so many different areas in their life. So once today's video is over, hop inside of that. You'll love it. Okay, just listen to me very closely because this video is going to save you a lot of years of misery. How women get the power in the relationship and why they do it. This video will save you a lot of years of misery, okay, if you learn all of these things that I'm about to teach you. So any woman or any of the women that you date will oftentimes attempt to get the emotional leverage and power over you. It's just how it is, okay? That's just the way the world operates when it comes to how relationships typically go, okay? Now, here's what you have to understand. They do this by doing one thing. That's the amazing part about this video is you only have to really learn and understand one thing. If you say, well, how do they do this? How do they get the leverage and the power in the relationships? They do it by doing this one thing, okay? They get you emotionally invested, okay? And then they just pull back. They pull away. That's what they do. This is the entire game plan. They get you emotionally invested into the relationship and then they pull away, okay? And now they have the leverage because you are invested. So that's all it comes down to. If you know this game, you can spot it coming from a mile away. Okay, so you might be saying, well, why? Why do they do this? Why does this have to happen? This happens because they get turned off if you are too invested. Okay? This is basically like female nature when it comes to long-term relationships or when they're dating a guy for an extended period of time. Okay? They have to test your internal strength and your emotional fortitude. They are constantly testing your strength, and this is going to be the only way to consistently satisfy hypergamy is proving that you're still strong. So this is what it comes down to. This is the only thing you have to understand. In order for them to get the power in the relationship, they do this one thing. They get you emotionally invested, and then they pull away. So here's the secret. The secret is to never fully reveal your interest level. You cannot reveal your interest level the whole way. You'll hear a lot of these sayings like, wear your heart on your sleeve, or, you know, be a nice guy and tell her how you feel. All this stuff, okay? The women you date can only pull away if you've pulled up, okay? That's the only way they can pull away or they can only pull back from you is you've fully exposed your emotions and you fully revealed your interest level. So here's what I can tell you. Never under any circumstances do this, okay? Never show your interest level or the testing starts very fast, okay? She's going to start to test your interest level because she'll always test your emotional fortitude. So, what you'll notice is this. It's like when you first start dating a woman or you first enter into a relationship with a woman, she's very nice to you, she's very sweet, it's fun. And then if you make one too many mistakes, it's like you notice it feels like you're dating a totally different person who doesn't like you at all. So women despise men who get attached to them emotionally and go emotionally weak for their beauty. So never let lust or pleasure be something that you're prioritizing. If you are letting lust or pleasure be your main, priority in your life just so you can feel good, this is going to make you oftentimes weak emotionally. So, nothing makes up for an emotional attachment. Nothing, okay? I don't care how good looking you are. I don't care if you're 7 feet tall. I don't care if you're a famous celebrity. There's nothing you can do to make up for this one mistake of becoming too emotionally invested or attached. There's nothing you can do. She'll end up leaving. You can be the best looking dude in the world with the best jawline and the best hairline, who's 7 feet tall, and you're super famous and well known, and maybe you even have a lot of pre-selection with a lot of women showing you interest. As soon as she feels that your interest level is so high that you're very emotionally invested, she will start to doubt your value, and naturally, because of hypergamy, I believe, she will start to pull away. So this is what you just have to understand, and this is what you have to accept, okay? It's not like when you get to a certain point in your life, maybe your career or maybe your status level, where you just get to like say, oh, whatever, I just get to now love a woman how I've always wanted to. So that brings me to my next point. There is no point of arrival. There's so many men out there, they think that there's a point of arrival, like, oh, when I get to be 30 years old and I'm established in my career and I have, you know, a certain body fat level with six-pack abs, now I'm qualified to finally be allowed to love a woman. And then here's what happens, right? You break all the rules too, or you start to do all the mistakes, and then she leaves you. So there is no point of arrival. So there's no point of arrival where you get to break the rules and you get to fall head over heels in love. There is no point of arrival where a guy finally like gets to a point in life where he is just allowed to do these things, because what you're going to notice is that as soon as you do that, the woman that you love will exit your life as well. So this is what a lot of guys think. They think to themselves, well, hey, if I finally become high status, right, I get to now love her the way I want to, okay? As if you need to enter into a category where it's like you're now qualified to finally do so. This is the thought process that a lot of guys have. So then guys will think things or say things like, okay, so when I'm high status now I get to do this, or when I'm finally more popular, or when I finally have entered into, you know, a good point in my career and I'm now, let's say, a top 1% income earner. Guys think these things, or they'll be like, well, when I have six-pack abs and I look, you know, the way I want to, okay, now I finally get to love her how I want. And the answer is no. You don't get to do this, and it doesn't matter what kind of qualities you have externally that you're trying to improve on. I don't care about really how, you know, your money situation is, or finances, or popularity. As soon as you start making mistakes that makes her doubt your value, hypergamy is no longer satisfied. So here's what I can tell you. This is kind of like a statement that I live by, that I think a lot of guys need to really internalize. I always say this. I say loving a woman is great, but falling in love is unacceptable. Now here's why. You'll notice that what happens is you start leading your relationship decisions out of emotion instead of rational decisions. Okay? It's very important to understand this. So what that actually looks like is something like this. You'll start to actually tolerate a lot of disrespect, and you're still going to try to make the relationship work, and you're instantly going to think, well, how do I resolve this? Is there something I can say? Can I be nicer? Can I, you know, buy a dozen roses? Whatever the case may be that you're thinking. A lot of times guys will start to tolerate a lot of disrespect, and now she respects you even less. She'll start to resent you. But then here's the worst part about this. This is the worst part. Is you'll end up becoming even nicer, okay? And even more of a pushover to try to fix the situation in the relationship. Now, by now, she's gone and doesn't want you at all. She's probably completely emotionally left. She's probably already talking to a new guy, and you're sitting there still trying to be nicer in order to win over her love. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but it just doesn't work that way. I mean, we've seen a bunch of guys in our life who are high status or who are very rich have, you know, women exit their life, because it's not like you get to a certain point in life where it's like, well, now all of these things that I've learned don't apply to me. You'll never have that. So this is the last point that we have to talk about. You have to understand that every single word out of your mouth matters. When communicating with a woman, everything matters. Literally everything. So women pay attention to everything. This is why I'm telling you this. Every sentence has a potential to display higher value or high value, Or every single sentence that comes out of your mouth has the ability to display low status or low value. So this is the problem, is a lot of times guys keep communicating more to keep the conversation going, when in reality what's happening is that a lot of times you're actually lowering your status, and now she's losing attraction. So here's what I mean. The more you say things that demonstrates attachment and low value, the less she likes you, okay? So when communicating, here's what you have to remember. If you don't know what to say, and I don't care if this is a first date, I don't care if this is a girlfriend for multiple years, many times, if you don't know what to say, just say nothing at all. Because a lot of times when guys communicate, they run the chances of saying the wrong things that turns the woman off. So there's numerous women that I've talked to over the years who have told me things like, yeah, you know, I really loved my boyfriend until he said this one thing and it totally turned me off. Okay, this is what you have to understand. Every single word that comes out of your mouth matters, because it is all a reflection of your internal confidence, your current self-esteem, and your current interest level. So this is what you really have to master, okay? So this right here is how women get the leverage or the power in the relationship. They do this by getting you emotionally invested, and then they pull back. If you know this, you're going to have way higher chances of having relationship success. And at this point, I invite you to join us inside of our private community. We now have over 1,100 dudes together, and I'm watching this thing grow every single day.